I've spent the last few years helping Canadians understand more about their finances, from buying their first home to building long-term wealth, approving mortgages and restructuring debt. And what I've seen again and again is this: people don't have a money problem, they have a behavior problem. And I've also worked with lower income individuals that were able to build wealth quietly over time, just by changing how they think about money. So if you ever felt like your paycheck disappears the moment it hits your account, you're not alone. Look, I'm not here to sell you some get-rich-quick scheme like many do in the internet. I'm not here to sell you anything. And no, I'm not going to tell you to get a second or third job. It's not going to fix the root issue. This video is going to be real, raw insights backed by research and real life experiences about how people manage their finances, why money keeps slipping away, and how to finally stop it. So I remember one client in particular back when I was an advisor at the bank. She came in a few months after her husband had passed away. Now, she was living on CPP, old age security, just government pensions if you're unfamiliar with it. And for the first time in her life, she was completely alone financially. Although her income was low, she didn't have a mortgage. She still had everyday expenses like everyone else. She had bills. She also had a loan on a camper. She told me her husband had always handled the money and she never had to worry about it, and they lived comfortably. But as time went on, her money began to disappear. Bills were piling up, late payments were coming in. She couldn't keep up and she couldn't figure out what was going wrong. So she came to me in tears, overwhelmed, scared. And what struck me the most is that it's not that she didn't have enough money, it's that she didn't understand her habits around money. Now, whether or not you can relate to this story doesn't really matter because the root causes are usually very, very similar. Let's talk about habits, because the truth is most financial problems aren't caused by the economy. They're caused by our habit. About 45% of what you do every single day isn't a conscious decision. It's a habit. Your brain loves habits because they save energy. Once it learns a pattern, it automates it. It's like brushing your teeth or driving your usual route to work or scrolling through Instagram the moment you wake up. Now, the problem is it will do the same exact thing, but with your money. That daily coffee becomes routine. The just one more thing at the checkout line becomes normal, and late night Amazon scrolling becomes automatic. You're not always choosing to spend. Your brain is just running the script. Every habit runs on a loop, and there's three parts: cue, routine, reward. You feel bored, stressed, or drained, that's your cue. You then perform the routine, which in this case, you spend money, and you get the reward, which is that tiny hit of dopamine. And the more you repeat it, the stronger it becomes, until eventually your brain is not craving the purchase anymore. It's craving the dopamine. And that's why bad spending habits are so hard to break. They're not just financial, they're neurological. And that client that I mentioned earlier, this is what she didn't realize. Her husband wasn't just good with money. He had systems, he had habits that worked for him, not against him. And when he was gone, those systems disappeared, leaving her stuck on autopilot without ever realizing it. And this is exactly why so many people feel stuck, or they feel like they just can't get ahead. That's why understanding your habits is essential, because until you rewire them, money will keep slipping through your fingers no matter how much you make. You need a good foundation from the start. Let's talk about the system and how it's designed to keep you broke. Whether you like it or not, the truth is the system is built in a way to keep that spending loop running. Every swipe, every tap, every ad you see online, it's all designed to remove the friction between your desire and your purchase. When you hand over cash, your brain feels that loss. But when you use a card or Apple Pay, that pain signal never fires. There's just no physical connection to your card or Apple Pay, not in the same way that there is with cash. Spending money just becomes abstract. It's just numbers on a screen. And the separation from money, from cash to card to one-tap checkout, makes it easier than ever to overspend and harder than ever to stop. And companies know it. You just keep getting sucked into the matrix, and companies and governments don't want you to notice. They don't want you to escape. Everything you see online, every limited time offer, every red notification bubble, every smooth one-click checkout, it's all designed to trigger that dopamine loop and keep you spending. A Capital One report found that 89% of shoppers admit to impulse buying, and the average person spent about $282 a month on impulse purchases last year. That's just under $3,400 a year on things they didn't need. And that's in US dollars, which is more than enough to pay for an all-inclusive trip for two, or to start compounding in an investment. And here's the thing, they don't want you to stop because everyone benefits from your spending. Companies love it because they get higher profits. The government loves it because it's more money in circulation, increasing the GDP, and more taxes get collected. It's not a conspiracy, it's just the system's working exactly as it was designed. The modern world is built to make spending feel painless. Every color, every button, every animation, It's all engineered to keep you hooked. And now with AI driving personalization, the system's only getting smarter. Like buy now, pay later, another perfect example. $200 suddenly feels like $20 because the cost is chopped into tiny harmless pieces. And since you don't feel the cost as much, you're likely to spend more. Not because you're weak, because you're human. Humans are predictable. But here's the good news. Once you see the system for what it actually is, you can finally start beating it. So here's the real fix. Before you go and apply for your second or your third job, or before you follow these investment trends that you saw online, do this first, all right? It's simple. Yes, it's boring, but it's also life-changing. Create a real budget and automate it. Now, I know some of you watching right now just rolled your eyes, but let me ask you honestly, how many of you actually have a budget in place? And if you don't, then how can you possibly keep track of how much money you're spending? Truth is, you can't. And before we even start, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Convert everything into the same time period, whether that's monthly, bi-weekly, whatever fits your pay cycle. Convert everything to yearly and then divide by the metric that you need. Now let's break it down. Step one is use your real numbers. Write down your exact income and debts. These are your constants, they don't change. Now list every recurring expense, such as groceries, vehicle costs, subscriptions, insurance, bills. Make it real or else it's pointless. You're the only one who's going to see it, nobody else. Pull up your bank statements, credit cards, e-transfers, and track every single dollar. Now, for categories that change from month to month, you're going to have to do a yearly average. Step two is analyze it. And when you're done, you're going to find two things. One, how much you're actually spending in each category, which might surprise you. And two, how much is left over, if any. That's your reality check. Learn from it. If you've got money left over, great. Allocate it. Because if you don't, you're not progressing. Use it to budget your spending or leisure account. That way you'll know exactly how much guilt-free money that you'll have every single period. And finally, step three, this is where it gets really powerful. Automate your budget. Open multiple savings accounts, not new bank accounts, just sub accounts underneath your main account. It's completely free. One for each major category. So groceries, rent, bills, savings, leisure spending. Automate your transfers on payday. So the moment your money hits the account, let the systems disperse that into the other accounts. Now, instead of wondering if you can afford something, go check. That's what real budgeting feels like. It's not restrictive at all. It's empowering. That's when you can start finally putting money aside for something that's actually important for you, whether that's traveling or home or retirement savings, whatever it may be. And look, don't get discouraged. You're not going to be a millionaire overnight, but over time, this changes everything because progress comes from consistency. Trust me, I have seen this transform lives time and time again. People hate hearing that they're bad with money. The truth is, they're bad with money. You don't need more money to stop being broke. You just need to stop letting your money escape. And that starts with awareness and automation. Now, of course, making more money will allow you to afford more luxurious things, but without a proper foundation in place, it's just going to keep happening. Then, when your mindset is locked in and your budget is working as it should, that's when you start tackling your higher interest debts head on. But always, always keep your budget as your foundation and make sure to update it when changes occur. Because without that foundation, you're just drifting away and just hoping that everything's going to work out, exactly like my client from earlier was doing. Now, if you'd like for me to go deeper into these topics and show you exactly how you can set this up, what PDF files you can use to help you, let me know in the comments below. And if you got value from this video, then hit the like and subscribe buttons. It goes a long way. I would truly appreciate it. It also helps me keep making content like this for you guys. And with that, thanks for watching. Until next time.